Assalamualaikum and greetings to Madam Rozana and all fellow members 6J. So we are on week 8 and our group from group 4 would like to present on topic delay and extension of time EOT and claim for loss and expense. My name is Wan Nur Alisa binti Wan Muhammad Azmi and I will explain the definition of extension of time or EOT. According to PWD Form 203A, page 28 and PAM Contracts 2018, page 23, it defined as additional time given by SO or superintendent official to the contractor to complete the works beyond the original date of completion with reasons allowed as in the contract. Kalau bahasa mudahnya adalah tempoh pelanjutan masa yang diberikan SO kepada kontraktor untuk menyiapkan kerja-kerja construction, dan biasanya kontraktor dia akan mohon EOT ni kerana sebab-sebab yang tertentu. Okay, with reason allowed as in the contract. Antara alasan yang akan diberikan ataupun evidence lah yang akan diberikan oleh kontraktor kenapa diminta EOT. Okay, kita boleh simpulkan contohlah keadaan sekarang ni adalah COVID-19. Kalau kita imbas kembali kepada first MCO, kita hampir semua industri tidak boleh beroperasi, termasuklah construction. Jadi di sini pihak kontraktor akan memohon EOT iaitu tempoh pelanjutan masa untuk memohon melanjutkan lagi masa kerana atas alasan-alasan yang diberikanlah. Okay. Therefore, if the work not completed within the time, first is SO will issue CNC to the contractor. Jadi kita SO dah bagi EOT kepada kontraktor, tetapi kontraktor tetap tidak dapat menyiapkan projek tersebut pada masa yang ditetapkan. Jadi SO akan beri CNC. CNC itu adalah Certificate of Non-Completion to the contractor. Dia macam perakuan yang mengatakan kontraktor tersebut gagal menyiapkan projek tersebut pada masa yang ditetapkan. Ini berlaku apabila dah diberikan EOT tapi masih tidak disiapkan. Jadi dia akan bagi CNC lah. Selepas itu the contractor must complete the work. So kontraktor mesti juga siapkan projek pada masa, kalau boleh siapkanlah. Dan next is the contractor will be charged LAD during the period of delay. Walaupun projek tu tak dapat disiapkan pada masa ditetapkan, masih kena disiapkan, tetapi akan dikenakan charge lah, maknanya hukuman. LAD ni dia macam hukuman kepada kontraktor kerana tidak dapat menyiapkan projek pada masa yang ditetapkan walaupun sudah diberi EOT. I will present on clause. Okay, let's proceed with clause 39.1 first. According to PWD Form 203A, page 25, it stated that the contractor shall complete the whole of the works on or before the date for completion as stated in appendix or such extended time as may be allowed under clause 43 hereof. Kalau kita nak highlight di sini, dia nyatakan the contractor shall complete the whole of the works on or before the date for completion. Bermakna kontraktor mesti siapkan projek sebelum ataupun pada masa yang ditetapkan. Bermakna kalau ada EOT pun mesti siapkan pada tempoh yang diberikan. Kalau lebih daripada tempoh tersebut, bermakna dah diberi EOT masih ada tidak dapat disiapkan pada masa yang ditetapkan, so akan dikenakan CNC lah. The contractor is required to complete the work within the original contract period or within the extended time granted. Okay, ini dia punya explanation lah. And contracts permit the period to be extended beyond the original date on acceptable grounds. Okay, let's focus on another clause, that is clause 43.1. According to PWD Form 2038, page 28, gives the power to the SO to grant the contract period. Upon it becoming reasonably apparent that the progress of the works is delayed, the contractor shall forthwith give written notice to the SO as to the causes of delay and relevant information with supporting documents enabling the official to form an opinion as to the cause and calculation of the length of delay. SO will substitute any reasonable completion date for the fixed date of completion stated in appendix. Okey, kalau clause 43.1 ni, di sini dia akan highlight kontraktor mesti kemukakan bukti ataupun alasan yang kukuh kepada SO mengapa diperlukan EOT, bukannya mohon sekadar mohon sengaja nak sebab nak lebih masa ke. No, dia akan bagi sebab lah kenapa dimohon EOT. Dan SO will substitute any reasonable completion date. So SO pula akan tengok lah, dia akan tengok masa yang diberikan, tempoh masa yang diberikan adalah berapa hari. Maknanya dia akan tengok juga progress kontraktor tu sama ada lagi 40%, contohlah 40% lagi progress. So dia akan berikan sekurang-kurangnya 21 hari ataupun berapa hari yang diperlukan lah. Yang di sini SO lah yang akan berkuasa, dia akan bagi berapa hari yang diperlukan kepada kontraktor untuk menyiapkan projek tersebut. Dan kalau tak siap pada masa ditetapkan, so SO akan issue CNC lah. So di sini kalau kita imbas kembali kepada clause 39.1, dia akan highlight kontraktor mesti siapkan projek tersebut sebelum atau pada masa ditetapkan. Kalau clause 43.1 pula, dia akan highlightkan SO berhak untuk menentukan tempoh masa yang diperlukan oleh kontraktor untuk menyiapkan projek tersebut pada masa yang ditetapkan. Okay, that's all from me. So let's proceed with our next member, Nur Aishikin binti Khalid. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Aishikin. So I will continue explain about the extension of time. The contractor to initiate the EOT process by giving written notice to the SO. Contractor notice must include first, causes of delay, second is information to support claims, and third is estimate of length of delay. Notice in writing but no specified format. Notice must be given when it is apparent that the progress is delayed and must apply before date of completion. Next is events granting EOT. Ni ialah sebab-sebab yang dibenarkan untuk memohon EOT. Boleh rujuk clause 43.1. First is force majeure. Ini ialah sumber-sumber di luar bidang kuasa klien dan kontraktor, contohnya bencana alam. Second is exceptionally inclement weather. Contoh macam musim hujan yang berterusan menyebabkan kerja-kerja tak boleh dijalankan. Next is directions regarding dispute with neighbouring owners. And then next is contractor not receiving instructions on time. Maksudnya yang menyebabkan certain kerja terpaksa dijalankan lambat. And then delay in giving sites possession. Ini delay yang berpunca daripada klien, yang disebabkan klien lambat serahkan tapak kepada kontraktor. Okay, next is delay in executing works by others. Maksudnya kerja delay disebabkan oleh third party yang klien ambil untuk buat kerja. Okay, and then delay in securing material, maksudnya kelewatan kontraktor dalam mendapatkan bahan binaan. And next is seterusnya ialah kelewatan daripada arahan-arahan yang dikeluarkan oleh SO, especially melibatkan VO ataupun kelewatan daripada SO itu sendiri dalam memberi keputusan. And last is delays by NAC, di mana kelewatan membuat pelantikan NAC daripada pihak klien itu. Contohnya kontraktor kena tunggu NAC buat kerja dulu baru boleh sambung kerja diorang. So kontraktor boleh mohon EOT. This is the procedure of applying EOT. First is delay becoming apparent. So, bila delay becoming apparent, kontraktor boleh prepare claims for EOT. So, notice ni akan diberikan kepada SO dan SO akan determine the causes of EOT based on clause yang tadi, iaitu clause 43.1. Kalau menepati apa yang ada dalam clause tu, so SO akan decide. Kalau lulus, SO akan estimate length of delay dan kemudiannya issue the certificate of delay and EOT. The certificate states the length of time extension granted and the new reasonable completion date for the contract. In case kalau courses tu tak ikut clause dan SO rasa tak ada keperluan untuk mohon EOT, so SO boleh reject claim contractor.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Arif Akmal bin Muhammad Asri. I would like to explain about claims for loss and expense. Loss and expense bermaksud additional expenses yang terpaksa ditanggung oleh kontraktor berpunca dari projek delay. Delay itu pula punca daripada klien, sebagai contoh VO, which is version of order. According to PWD 203A, clause 43.1, C, D, E, F and H, from previous slide, that's all our causes come from client that make the project delay. According to PWD form 203A 44.1, if at any time during the regular process of the works or any part thereof has been materially affected by reason of delays as stated under clause 43.1 C, D, E, F and H, and the contractor has incurred direct loss or expense beyond that reasonable contemplated and for which the contractor will not be reimbursed by a payment made under any other provision in this contract. The contractor shall within 30 days of the occurrence of such event or circumstance or instructions give a notice in writing to the SO or his intention to claim for such direct loss or expense together with an estimate of the amount of such or on such loss and or expense subject away to clause 44.2 hereof. The clause above explain that if the delay happened during the construction of the project, the contractor has incurred the direct loss and expense, but the contractor will not be reimbursed under any provision in the contract. Then within 30 days, contractor should give notice in writing to the SO to claim the direct loss and expense caused by the delays. Next, 44.2, as soon as is practicable but not later than 90 days after practical completion of the works, the contractor shall submit full particulars of the claims for direct loss and expense under clause 44.1 together with all supporting documents, voucher, explanation and calculation which may be necessary to enable direct loss or expense to be ascertained by the SO. The amount of such direct loss and expense ascertained by the SO shall be added to the contract sum. This clause explains that not later than 90 days after the completion of the works, the contractor shall submit all claims for direct loss and expense together with all supporting documents to be ascertained by the SO. After all claims have been ascertained by the SO, the amount of the claims for the loss and expense shall be added in the contract sum. This is a figure show about PWD form 203A under clause 44.2. First, not later than 90 days after the practical completion of the works. Next, the contractor shall submit full particulars of all claims for direct loss or expense together with all necessary supporting documents, vouchers, explanation and calculation. Next, to enable the direct loss or expense to be ascertained by the SO, the amount is soon later added to the contract sum. Next, 44.3, if the contractor fails to comply with clauses 44.1 and 44.2, he shall not be entitled to such claim and the government shall be discharged from all liability in the connection with the claim. The clause above explains that if the contractor fails to identify and submit all the claim for loss or expense, the contractor not entitled to claim for the loss or expense. The government also will not responsible for all the loss or expense and all the things that related with the claims. It means the contractor need to take all the responsibility of the loss or expense by himself.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to madam give me chance to present. My name is Ahmad Raza Naim bin Ramli from 6J. Okay, I will continue with claim for lease and expense. Okay, I will continue with clause 24.3a. The contractor not having received in due time the necessary documents under clause 3.3a and 3.3b. The explanation of this clause is this clause about the contractor must receive 2 documents, which is 2 copies of the contract drawing and 2 copies of the unpriced contract bill before the contractor can start the progress of the work. Okay, next 24.3b clause for claim losses and expenses. The contractor not having received in due time the necessary AI. AI is mean architect instruction. Those for or in regard to the expenditure of PC sum and provisional sum, further drawing detail level and any other information for which is had specifically applied in writing to the architect. The contractor application must be submitted to the architect in sufficient time before the commencement of construction of the affected work to enable an architect to issue the necessary architect instruction within a period which would not materially affect the progress of the affected work, having regarded to the completion date, provided always the architect for instruction was not required as a result of any negligence, omission, default and branch of contract by the contractor and nominated subcontractor. Okay, the meaning of that, the clause above explained, the contractor not receive the architect instruction from the architect. He can specifically apply the architect instruction in writing to the architect. Next, the contractor must submit the application to the architect in sufficient time before the commencement of construction, and architect can issue the architect instruction to the contractor and will not affect the progress of work. Okay, the next clause is 24.3c is delay by the employer in giving position of the site or any section of the site in accordance with clause 21.1 and 21.2. The meaning of this clause is giving position of the site by the employer was affect the regular process of the work. Is that meaning project at the site was delayed? And next, the contractor can get the extension of time cost the delay in giving the site position. For the clause 24.3d, compliant with a written construction issue by the architect in regard to the postponement or suspension for all any part of the work to be executed under clause 21.4 is that the postponement or suspension of all or any part of the work that been issued by the architect can affect the regular process of the work. Next, contractor shall ensure full insurance coverage for the whole period of postponement or suspension. The issue insurance is covered by the employer. The employer shall ensure similar coverage with the contractor's insurance. Okay, next 24.3e. Delay on the part of craftsman, tradesman, or the contractor employed or engaged by the employer in executing work not forming of the contract or the failure to execute such work. The clause meaning is the delay in work of craftsman, tradesman, or other contractor employed by the employer in executing the work can affect the regular process of the work at the project or site. Okay, for clause 24.3f, delay or fail in the supply of material and goods which the employer had agreed to supply of the work. The meaning of this clause is the employer had deal with the supplier for the material for construction, but the material is arrived late or failure in the deal, so it can affect the regular process of the work. For the clause 24.3G, the opening up for inspection of any work covered up testing any material and goods are executed work in accordance with clause 6.3 unless the inspection of the show that the work material and good were not in accordance with the contract or was in the opinion of architect required in consequence of some prior negligence, omission, default or breach of contract by the contractor. The explanation of this clause is the progress of the work can be effected when the inspection of any work covered up show the work material and good will not follow the deal in the contract. It is because there are some prior negligence, omission, default or breach of the contract by the contractor. That's all from me. Thank you, madam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.